of the commodity. As oil prices plunged, data obtained from the September 2022 oil market report of OPEC indicated that an oil rig in Nigeria was dormant in August 2022 when compared to the number of functional rigs in the preceding month. Industry figures seen in Abuja on Sunday showed that Brent dropped in price by $4.31 or 4.76% to $86.15 per barrel as at 4:18 p.m. Nigerian time. Data from OPEC's world rig count on operational rigs in Nigeria stated that in 2019, the average number of functional oil rigs in Nigeria was 16, but this dropped to 11 in 2020 before eventually crashing to 7 in 2021. The National Public Relations Officer, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Chief Ukadike Chinedu, said that though there might be some inconsistencies in oil theft data, the volume of crude stolen from the country was huge. The new national carrier, Nigeria Air, which has been bedeviled with delays and shifting of timelines, is now about to change as the federal government announces recruitment opportunity into the airline. It also confirms Ethiopian Air as a co-investor after it won a bid for the airline. Nigerian Air would begin operation with an initial investment of about $350 million from all investors based on their equity participation. The Minister for Aviation, Hadi Sirika, said that Ethiopian Airline would have 49%, while other institution investors will have 46%, and the federal government of Nigeria 5%.
Carrier, or the national carrier Nigeria Air, which is a PPP, is being launched soon, as described, and with ownership structure described. Ethiopian Airline itself will be having 49%, while Masters, MRS, SACO, and other institutional investors will have 46%, and the federal government of Nigeria 5%. The consortium is being engaged in negotiations as we speak. This will lead to the full business case. So all of those processes will end up, in fact, in a couple of weeks from today. It's our intent to not exceed the money so far spent from the beginning of all this, including transaction advisory fees. Remember, we've been on this since 2016. So all of the money spent is under 400 million naira.
The Chief Executive Officer of Nigerian Air, Captain Dapo Olumide, said this would improve the standard and quality of services of the nation's airline.
It raises the bar for the benchmark of all the other airlines. They will all improve their standard quality of service. Remember, competition is as it is today. Why do you prefer to fly on a particular airline over another airline? It's because of the service that that airline renders. So when you have a national airline like this, which will have the highest standard, the other airlines will meet those standards. That's what's going to happen. It's not about competition to eliminate anybody. It's to make the industry of Nigerian aviation grow further than it is today. We are dry leasing. These aircraft are not wet leased. And I make that very clear. The aircraft coming to Nigeria are not wet leased aircraft.
The World Bank has said that Nigeria's economic outlook is uncertain and its ability to attract domestic and foreign investment is also crashing. It also noted that the condition of welfare in Nigeria was worsening despite the economic recovery from recession. The Washington-based bank said this in its draft report for state action on business enabling reforms, which is available on its website. The global lender stressed the need to catalyze private investment in order to boost growth and create jobs, noting that this type of investment was declining in the country. The World Bank further emphasized the need for a more flexible and transparent foreign exchange management regime, accelerated revenue-based fiscal consolidation, strengthened expenditure and debt management, and improved business enabling environment. The Federal Operations Unit, Zone A of the Nigeria Customs Service, has said that suspected smugglers shot severally at officers of the service in an attempt to smuggle 81,425 liters of petroleum motor spirit at Badagry area of Lagos State in the early hours of Thursday. A statement by the unit quoted the acting customs area controller in charge of the unit, Deputy Controller Hussein Ejibunu, to have said that despite the shooting, the officers were able to seize the products. Ejibunu said that the PMS was stored in jerry cans and sacks, noting that the officers were attacked by the smugglers using Dane guns. He said the seizures were results of painstaking intelligence and perseverance on the part of officers of the unit who were committed to protecting the national economy. The controller decried a situation where the federal government spent huge amount of money to subsidize fuel for the benefit of Nigerians, only for a few persons to be smuggling the subsidized fuel out of Nigeria for selfish gains. Now, former President Olusegun Obasanjo has disclosed that without adequate electricity supply, all efforts and energy channeled towards the development of Africa economically and socially will not materialize. Obasanjo and other world leaders spoke during the FIN International Trade and Investment Forum, a sideline event at the United Nations General Assembly, Onga, New York. According to Obasanjo, Africans, their friends and development partners must work together to raise sufficient investment for getting enough power to help Africa develop, saying that he personally believed that the resources were out there. The development came just as the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who also spoke at the event, said that Africa could not industrialize or have a solid continental manufacturing base without energy. The WTO boss noted the green statistics of energy access on the continent was instructive, saying that the International Energy Agency had estimated a $28 billion annual investment gap for energy for the continent up to 2030. Obasanjo further stated that there was a need for African countries to create the conducive environment for investment to come into the continent for power generation, power distribution, and robust power transmission. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has said that the passage of the Investments and Securities Bill 2022 would aid the functioning of the capital market as well as facilitate the ongoing economic diversification in the country. Director General, Securities and Exchange Commission, Mr. Lamido Yuguda, said that the passage and enactment of the bill will be a pivotal step in revamping the economy and therefore enjoins the appeals for the buy-in of key stakeholders to make this aspiration a reality. Speaking on some highlights of the major innovations and changes in the bill, Yuguda disclosed that the bill expands the categories of issuers as a key step towards the introduction of new innovations and offerings such as crowdfunding, as well as the facilitation of commercial and investment business activities subject to the approval of the Commission and other controls stipulated in the bill. He also said that a recommendation is made in the bill for the inclusion of the National Pension Commission on the SEC board for increased collaboration between the two agencies, particularly to encourage greater investment of pension funds and in capital market products or instruments. It's time now to join Femi Ojo for some stock exchange reports.
Here is the summary of trading activities on the floor of the stock market for last week, Friday, the 23rd day in the month of September 2022. I must let you know that the market closed on a bearish note as the whole share index dropped by 0.33% to close at 49,029.62 basis points. Over 169.1 million units of shares valued at over 3.192 billion naira was traded in 3,260, and the equity capitalization summed up to over 24.444 trillion naira. I look at the top three gainers. We have Vita from top on the park gaining 1 naira 45 kobo to close at 22 naira 45 kobo. Houghty Briscoe gained 2 kobo to close at 35 kobo, and Access Scoop gained 50 kobo to close at 8 naira 80 kobo. For the decliners, we have CWG top on the park losing 9 kobo to close at 81 kobo. Badger lost 65 kobo to close at 5 naira 95 kobo, and Etana lost 60 kobo to close at 5 naira 75 kobo. For the major players, Courtville top the park trading over 27.6 million units of shares. NGS Group traded over 24.5 million units of shares. Zenith Bank traded over 20.8 million units of shares. Transcorp traded over 11.1 million units of shares, and Jais Bank traded over 10.8 million units of shares. That was the summary of trading activities on the floor of the stock market for last week, Friday, the 23rd day in the month of September 2022. Join me tomorrow when I bring you the outcome of today's trading. My name is Femi Ojo.
And that's it on Business Splash for today on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. Don't forget to join us this Wednesday for another fresh edition. Good morning. Thank you for listening. I'm Aderonke Giwa Onafua.
Quick, Charger 240.
Hot news, cool vibes, sports, and more on the Integrity Station.
Splash FM 105.5.